Imagine spotting a ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Her sails are set, but slightly torn. She is moving erratically, steered only by the wind. You signal her, but there is no answer. You board her, expecting sickness or death. Instead, you find silence. On December 4th, 1872, the Mary Celeste was found drifting 400 miles east of the Azores. The cargo was intact. The captain's bed was wet but unmade. A 6-month supply of food and water was still in the hold. But the 10 people on board, the captain, his wife, their 2-year-old daughter, and 7 crewmen, had vanished into thin air. There was no sign of struggle, no sign of violence. They simply stepped off the edge of the world. This is the story of the greatest ghost ship in history. The mystery begins not with a curse, but with a routine voyage. Captain Benjamin Briggs was a man of the sea, staunch, religious, and highly respected. He invested his life savings into the Mary Celeste. On November 7, 1872, the ship set sail from New York Harbor, bound for Genoa, Italy. On board were Briggs, his wife Sarah, and their infant daughter Sophia. The crew of 7 were all experienced German sailors with clean records. This was not a chaotic ship prone to mutiny. The cargo was dangerous but valuable. 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. 8 days later, another ship, the Dei Gratia, also left New Jersey for Gibraltar. Its captain, David Morehouse, was a friend of Briggs. They had dined together before departure. Morehouse didn't know that the next time he would see his friend's ship, it would be a floating tomb. For weeks, the Mary Celeste battled the Atlantic. The last log entry was made on November 25th. It reported their position near Santa Maria Island. Everything seemed normal. But somewhere between that entry and December 4th, panic struck. A panic so absolute that experienced sailors abandoned a seaworthy vessel in the middle of the ocean. December 4th, 1 p.m. The crew of the Dei Gratia spots a sail on the horizon. It's the Mary Celeste, yawing wildly. Captain Morehouse hails her. Silence. He sends a boarding party. What they found has been distorted by myth for a century, so let's look at the actual testimony. The sails were in poor condition, some blown away, the rigging was damaged. But the ship was not sinking. There was some water in the hold, about 3.5 feet. But that is manageable for a ship of this size. The pumps were in working order. Inside the captain's cabin, life seemed interrupted. Toys of the child were put away, but the bed was wet. The logbook lay on the desk. However, crucial items were missing: the sextant, the chronometer, and the ship's papers. Crucially, the single lifeboat was gone. The most chilling discovery was a frayed rope trailing in the water behind the ship. It suggests the lifeboat was launched and tied to the Mary Celeste, perhaps waiting for a danger to pass. But the rope had snapped. Imagine that moment. 10 people in a tiny open boat, watching their large, safe ship drift away from them in the wind, severing the only line connecting them to life. They were left alone in the vast, cold Atlantic. Why leave a safe ship? The inquiry in Gibraltar suspected foul play. Theory 1. Insurance fraud or mutiny. The prosecutor suspected the crew got drunk on the cargo and killed the family. But the alcohol was denatured, poisonous to drink, and there were no signs of violence. Theory 2. The seaquake or waterspout. Did a sudden natural event terrify Briggs? A seaquake could cause fumes to escape, or a waterspout could make them fear the ship was capsizing. But the ship suffered no structural damage. Theory 3. The alcohol explosion. This is the most scientifically probable theory. The cargo was raw alcohol. In the heat of the Azores, barrels could leak fumes. If Briggs opened the hold and a spark, or just the pressure, caused a flash explosion or a blast of steam, he might have panicked, thinking the ship was about to blow up. He ordered everyone into the lifeboat, trailing behind on a rope to wait and see. Then a gust of wind filled the Mary Celeste's sails. The ship lunged forward. The rope snapped. The explosion never happened, and the ship sailed on, leaving its crew to die of exposure or drown. The Mary Celeste was sailed back to port, but she was marked. Sailors considered her cursed. Her subsequent owners went bankrupt. She caught fire, and finally, she was intentionally wrecked for insurance money in 1885. But the fate of Benjamin Briggs, Sarah, little Sophia, and the crew remains the ocean's secret. No bodies were ever found. Only the silent ship remained to tell the story of a mistake, a rope, and a horrifying drift into oblivion. What do you think panicked the captain? Was it the cargo or something out in the water? Leave your theory below. If you enjoyed this voyage into the unknown, like the video and subscribe to the Static Archive. Until next time, keep watching the horizon.